So Denise Garcia is from Brazil. She's 43 years old, mother of two, graduated in law. She's a Brazilian woman. She's one of Matria's directors, and along with colleagues and associates, they've been promoting positive actions in a scenario that's not very favorable for women and children in Brazil. She's also a cook and a voice artist. And the title of Denise's talk is The Panorama of the Erasure of Women in Brazil and the Creation of Matria, Perspectives for Confrontation. So thank you so much for coming to speak, and over to you, Denise.
My name is Denise and I am a member of Matria, Associated Women, Mothers and Workers of Brazil. Brazil is, as you know, an immense and multicultural country in which women from all regions come together, aligned by the feeling of collective struggle and self-preservation, due to a scenario of a rapid advance of the queer agenda, following what has already taken place in countries of the Northern Hemisphere, as you already pointed here. Matria was established in July 2023 out of a need to instrumentalize the actions we are spearheading institutionally and to occupy decision-making spaces in legislative, executive, and judicial branches. We have taken our voices to representatives, senators, and even one of the Supreme Court ministers. And today she is the only woman to sit in the highest court in Brazil. Matria is not engaged or supported by political parties, nor is aligned as a left or right wing. Because being independent and supra-party is something crucial in order to develop our activities. It's also a non-profit organization with administrative and financial autonomy, focused entirely on women and children's rights. In just 8 months of existence, we have taken on daring struggles and succeeded in several of them. We proposed a legislative bill to protect sex-segregated bathrooms and intimate spaces for the safety of women and children, in order to prevent self-identification as an access criterion to those spaces. And we got over 20,000 people to support it on official pool in the Congress website. This bill is now on its way to becoming a law, although that may take some years to end. Beyond that advocacy work, Matria hired a lawyer to represent women's voices in lawsuits that are under judgment in the Supreme Court, in which women and children's rights are at stake. Today, we delve into a profound discussion on a matter that goes to the heart of preserving the safety and well-being of women and children in Brazil, the imperative of maintaining separated spaces by sex. In our journey towards a more just and equal society, it is crucial that we approach this conversation with a profound understanding of the unique challenges faced by women and the importance of upholding secure environments that respect their rights. Over the course of history, women have fought valiantly for their rights, including the establishment of spaces exclusively designed for their use. These spaces, whether in workplaces, restrooms, or other facilities, are not merely physical. They are the result of decades of struggles for dignity, security, and autonomy. It is paramount that we recognize and protect these spaces to ensure their continued progress in securing women's rights. Today, our focus lies on the preservation of separated spaces by sex, a concept that plays a pivotal role in guaranteeing the safety of women and children. The inviolability of these spaces is not an arbitrary segregation, but a fundamental acknowledgement of the unique vulnerabilities faced by women and the need for environments where they can feel safe and welcome. In navigating these discussions, we must tread with sensitivity to the concerns of women and mothers. This isn't about exclusion. It's about maintaining spaces where women and children can thrive without fear. As we champion inclusivity, we must also champion the preservation of those spaces, recognizing that the two ideals can coexist harmoniously. Preserving separated spaces by sex is a commitment to uphold the strides made in safeguarding women's dignity. In our dialogue today, let us emphasize the importance of finding nuanced solutions that balance inclusivity with the preservation of these spaces. As we reflect on the importance of secure spaces, let us not forget the countless stories of women who have fought for their rights, often against formidable odds. It is our collective responsibility to carry forward the legacy of those trailblazers and ensure that progress made is not eroded. Moreover, we can't ignore the growing concerns surrounding the inclusion of men, biological male, who self-identify as women in women's sports. As Linda just pointed, this complex issues has ignited debates over fairness, competition integrity, and the safeguarding of opportunities for women athletes. The intrusion of biological men individuals into women's sports raises legitimate questions about maintaining a level playing field, where physical advantages and differences between male and female athletes affect the integrity of competitions. Matria acknowledges the rights and struggles of transgender individuals, but we strongly oppose this intrusion on women's sports. Another subject in which Matria has acted against is the use of false data to impose public policy changes that benefit the trans population. There's a certain famous trans activist association with strong ties in the government, especially within the Ministry of Women, that propagates false information and intentionally wrong data regarding violence against LGBTQ plus individuals to impose their agenda. While acknowledging the importance of recognizing and addressing violence against LGBTQ plus individuals, it is vital to ensure that the data presented is accurate and reliable. Misinformation and exaggerated statistics not only undermine the credibility of genuine efforts to combat violence, but also risk inflaming tensions and misleading political decisions. We must be vigilant in scrutinizing the sources of information and advocating for evidence-based approaches that prioritize the safety, the well-being of all individuals without unjustified and disproportionate inclusion policies that may result from manipulated data. Our commitment to justice and equality requires us to uphold the integrity of information and resist attempts to exploit tragedies for political or ideological purposes. Lastly, I could not end this speech without bringing to your attention the fact that the Brazilian government, especially the ministries, are convening a strong campaign to avoid using the words women and mother and related terms. We are now people who breastfeed, people who give birth, people who menstruate. Those dehumanizing terms were used on official communication channels of Brazilian government, including the Ministry of Women. Important public policies such as post-birth care, free distribution of menstrual pads, and breast cancer prevention campaigns are being affected by the avoidance of words referring to women. This is an executive decision that is completely detached from the public opinion, from Brazilian culture, and from the most immediate concerns of the population. It also hinders the reach of those public policies that are aimed at women, but miscommunicates with the actual recipients, especially low-income, and vulnerable women from favelas, small towns, and isolated communities. In conclusion, I urge each one of you to engage thoughtfully in conversations that honor the commitment to ensure secure spaces for women and children in Brazil and the world. Let us work together towards a society that not only respects the rights and safety of all its members, but also stands as a beacon of progress, understanding, and inclusivity. Thank you for your attention. Let the dialogue continue.